So the Senate parliamentarian, somebody who nobody ever thought about or knew who they were until like last week, they decided, it's a she in this case, she decided, no, $15 minimum wage can't be done through reconciliation. Why? Because I say so. I know Republicans do anything they want through reconciliation, but I'm going to say the Democrats can't do something that has like 60 to 80% approval rating through reconciliation. Can't do it. So, of course, the reaction from the usual suspects is, oh, the process, we care so much about the process, we can't do it because the Senate parliamentarian, this unelected bureaucrat, we're going to let override the overwhelming majority of the American people. And so Biden released a statement, I'm so saddened by the decision from the parliamentarian. It's terrible. It's so sad. Now, what they don't tell you is this. That's an advisory opinion. They could override it if they want to override it. That's it. It's an advisory opinion. They can say, oh, interesting take. I disagree. And they can move forward with it. They're not doing that. The fact that they're not doing that says what? They don't really want to do the $15 minimum wage. I'm sorry, that's the truth. They don't really want to do it. So, now the $15 minimum wage is on the chopping block. By the way, you should fight like hell every step of the way. Every Democrat who really believes in this should make those who oppose pay a political price, and you should be vicious. You should be no holds barred. You should be clear about who the enemy is in this situation. And right now it is Biden and Kamala Harris, without a doubt. Throw in Joe Manchin, throw in a few others. But you should go to town. You should go to town and treat them like they're the Republicans, because they are. They are on this. They are. Okay, so with this on the chopping block, we get this news. Senate Democrats are racing to finalize a new tax provision, this is from CBS, that would penalize large companies that pay low wages. The move comes after Senate parliamentarian Elizabeth McDonough ruled Thursday night that a $15 minimum wage hike cannot be included in the Senate COVID relief package, which is currently being pushed through the chamber through a process known as budget reconciliation. The plan, being drafted by aides to Senate Finance Committee Chair Ron Wyden of Oregon in close consultation with Senate Budget Chair Bernie Sanders of Vermont, would impose a 5% payroll tax penalty on very large companies that do not pay workers a certain amount. That amount is still unclear. Wyden favors $15 an hour. Wyden favors $15 an hour, but is currently seeking feedback from fellow Democrats on that figure and on exactly which companies would face the penalties. Everyone in the caucus is envisioning very large companies. Think Walmart, Amazon, a Senate Democratic aide told CBS News. So, the new idea is this. This gives you, some of the details here. But the new idea is, what if we found a way to penalize big companies that didn't pay $15 an hour as a minimum wage? And they have ways that they can punish that, whether it's through withholding subsidies or getting rid of tax breaks or whatever it might be. And they even go on to say that for the smaller companies, they would incentivize smaller companies to pay $15 an hour by using a carrot and stick approach. And the smaller companies would get the carrot. And so it would be, we'll give you some sort of net subsidy or net tax break if you pay $15 an hour. And again, with the bigger companies, I think it would be more punitive. It would be more the stick approach than the carrot approach. So either way, it's like this backdoor roundabout way to try to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. So this is what they're calling the Plan B. And it was just floated. And so they're like, hey, if they're going to not allow us to raise the minimum wage to a living wage up front, we're going to find another way to do it, and that's the end of the conversation. Well, they already backed off of this. This news was floated a couple days ago. 2 days after it was floated, we're going to put that on the back burner. We're not going to do that. I would love to be a fly on the wall for the conversations that are going on between Democratic senators and the Biden administration. I would love to know what's being said and how the White House is getting people who actually do believe in good ideas to just back off of them. My guess is there's a lot of gaslighting, a lot of lying, a lot of we'll promise to do it through this way or that way or this way or that way. When the fact of the matter is, man, the left and the people who really believe in a living wage, you need to stop being pushovers and being cucks. Now, the good news is this. Right before I came on air, news just broke. Ro Khanna drafted a letter, and signing on to that letter was AOC, Ilhan Omar, Mark Pocan, Rashida Tlaib, Pramila Jayapal. There was a list of, I think it's over 20 House Democrats who are saying directly to the Biden administration, you need to overrule the parliamentarian and put the $15 minimum wage, the original $15 minimum wage, into the $1.9 trillion package. We are imploring you to do that and telling you you have the ability to do that. You just need to choose to do it. We're not going to let some unelected, faceless bureaucrat override the, whatever it was, 81 million Americans who just voted for you with the promise of a $15 minimum wage. If you guys remember, when Bernie cucked himself and dropped out and endorsed Biden, the one policy that Biden caved on Bernie for is they got together and they did this interview, and Biden was like, yes, Bernie, of course I'm in favor of a $15 minimum wage. I'm a strong supporter of that. You're going to back off on the one promise you made to the left? And what I tell you at the time, I told you I was skeptical. I told you I don't know if he actually believes in it. And what he's proving now is if they don't put it in, he doesn't believe in it. That's what I'm trying to get across to you guys, is that this isn't a matter of opinion. We know for a fact, because the Republicans have done it before, if you don't agree with the Senate parliamentarian, you could overrule them, you could fire them. They did that when it came to the Bush tax cuts and welfare reform. They were just like, we're going to put it in through reconciliation and you can go fuck yourself if you disagree. We can and should do that with a $15 minimum wage. If they don't do it, it's because they're choosing not to do it. So anyway, tremendous credit to Ro Khanna and every single Democrat in the House who's telling Biden, no, override them, overrule them. You have the ability to do that. But listen, I got to be honest with you guys. I need to see a lot more fight than this. And I need to see people like Bernie Sanders and, whoever the hell else fancies themselves a strong supporter of a $15 minimum wage. I don't know, Sherrod Brown, Ron Wyden, Elizabeth Warren, senators too. I need you guys to directly call them out. I want to hear you say Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are helping the Republican politicians by killing this and helping big corporations by killing this. And you need to ask yourself, why are they doing it? Is it because they take money from big corporations? Because they do take money from big corporations. So maybe that's why they're representing the big corporations. I'm just telling you what's obvious. I need to see the fight. I need to see the battle lines drawn. And if you don't draw the battle lines, I don't want to hear shit about how you virtue signal and believe in all these good ideas when you're not willing to fight for them. You have to be willing to fight for them. It was never going to be easy. We know it's never going to be easy. The most pathetic thing ever is when you come across your first hurdle, Senate parliamentarian, you're like, well, what are we going to do? Process is process. If you really believe in it, you'll find a way. So, it's pathetic. They've already backed off Plan B. I don't know what I'm supposed to take away from that. Am I supposed to take away from that there's assurances that it'll be brought up later in a way that's more likely to pass? Because I'll tell you, the clearest path to get this minimum wage raised, again, it's not a debate. The clearest path to do it is to just override the Senate parliamentarian, because they're telling us, hey, we have the votes. Really? You have the votes? Well, if you have the votes and the only thing standing in the way is a bureaucrat who you can override, then override the bureaucrat. Where's the debate? That's the fastest way to get to an increase in the minimum wage. Anything else is sort of bullshit and you're giving us the runaround, whether it's the Plan B thing or it's, some promise at a future date, we'll put it in another bill that has reconciliation. Doubt they'll do that, because once they agree now that it can't be raised to reconciliation, they're not going to go back on that later. So what are you going to do? Are you promising, hey, we'll put it up for a vote on its own to try to get 60 votes, get it through regular order? That's not going to happen, because even the Republicans who are nominally in favor of raising the minimum wage, they say like $10 an hour, So the real fight is do it through reconciliation, do it right now, and you make Sinema and you make Manchin bend the knee. You exert political pressure on them and let them know if they vote against you, you're going to end their careers. That's what's going to happen. And then you can make them fall in line. There was another poll that just came out of West Virginia. It's like 63% of West Virginians or something like that want a $15 minimum wage. And Manchin is well known for being one of these folks. Where's that political wind blowing? I'm going that way now. So exert the pressure. Biden has a 62% approval rating. Use your political capital and use it on this fight. If he doesn't do it, he doesn't want to do it. That's the point I'm trying to make for you guys. So Plan B thing, popped its head up and then went away. I don't know what they're planning in the future. The clearest path is don't listen to the parliamentarian, put it in. And if you're not going to do that, then you can't be upset if you do poor in the midterms and if you do poor in 2024. Because this was one of your core promises. And if you go back on it, it means you never really wanted to do it, because you can do it. It just requires wanting to do it, having some guts, and taking on the fight.